Hello and welcome to InsideWi-Fi, video 45. Regulatory domains in Wi-Fi. Do you ever know why a Wi-Fi router works differently in London than it does in New York or Tokyo? While the technical how-to of Wi-Fi is universal, the airwaves it travels on are governed by invisible legal boundaries. Although every country has the authority to create and enforce its own technology regulations, most adopt rules that align with those of larger or more influential countries. These set of regulations are grouped into what are known as regulatory domains. What is a regulatory domain? A regulatory domain is the legal framework that governs radio transmissions within a specific geographical area. While the IEEE 802.11 specification provides the technical how-to for Wi-Fi, the regulatory domain sets the legal boundaries for its operation. These domains group countries, often neighbors, that share common rules for the finite RF spectrum. Why regulation is essential in Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi does not exclusively control the frequencies it operates on. It shares them with other systems. Many of these frequencies are also used by critical government and public safety services, making regulation essential. What are the key aspects a regulatory domains enforce? A regulatory domain dictates the specific rules for any access point or client device operating within its borders. Key aspects are allowed channels. Different regions open different parts of the 2.4 GHz, 5 GHz, and 6 GHz bands. For example, Channel 13 is common in Europe but prohibited in the US. Channel 14 is common in Japan but prohibited in other domains. Transmit power, EIRP. Transmit power is limits on how loud a device can broadcast to prevent it from drowning other nearby networks. Dynamic frequency selection DFS. These are requirements for devices to listen for radar signals and automatically vacate a channel if a radar is detected. Indoor versus outdoor usage. Certain frequencies, especially in the 6 GHz band, may be restricted to indoor-only use, to protect incumbent licensed services. Most countries are sovereign and maintain their own regulatory agencies. However, manufacturers prioritize 5 regulatory domains because they represent the world's largest consumer markets and manufacturing hubs. Many smaller nations adopt regulatory domains based on the standards set by these leaders to ensure global consistency. Passing certification for these 5 effectively grants a device access to roughly 80 to 90% of the global market. The main 5 regulatory domains in Wi-Fi are Federal Communications Commission, FCC. The earliest regulators of spread spectrum and WLAN technologies, FCC and ISED, responsible for RF rules in the United States and Canada. In IEEE 802.11, this region is often called the FCC domain, but it is more broadly known as the North America's regulatory domain. Established in 1934, the FCC has played a leading role globally. Its decisions, such as opening the 6 GHz band for Wi-Fi 6E and Wi-Fi 7, set the regulatory trends worldwide. Geographical areas where the FCC regulatory domain is used are North America, including Canada, Central America, South America, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, India, Malaysia, Philippines, Taiwan, parts of the Russian Federation. European Telecommunications Standards Institute. ETSI is more of an advisory body than a regulatory body, unlike the FCC and TELEC, and makes recommendations for regulations instead of enacting them itself. As the name implies, the ETSI was developed with the European countries in mind. However, dozens of countries in Africa, the Middle East and parts of Asia follow the ETSI recommendations. ETSI was established in the year 1988. Geographical areas where the ETSI regulatory domain is used are Europe, Middle East, Africa, China, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, parts of the Russian Federation. Telecom Engineering Center, TELEC. In Japan, the Telecom Engineering Center, TELEC, part of the Japanese Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications, defines the regulations for WLAN, known for strict technical requirements regarding listen before talk, LBT, and specific channel usage and other radio services. TELEC was established in the year 1978. The TELEC regulatory domain is used only in Japan. Korea Communications Commission, KCC. KCC is a South Korean media regulation agency for one of the world's most connected populations. Its certification is a baseline for high-density wireless environments modeled after the Federal Communications Commission of the United States of America. KCC was established in the year 2008. The KCC regulatory domain is used only in South Korea. Ministry of Industry and Information Technology MIIT, State Radio Regulation of China SRC. Established in 2008, MIIT and SRC is critical because China is both the world's largest consumer market and its primary manufacturing hub. This regulatory domain is used only in mainland China. Few additional regulatory domains. Wireless Planning and Coordination WPC. While India has its own sovereign authority, It is technically categorized under the FCC regulatory domain in the IEEE 802.11 specifications. However, India maintains specific deviations regarding frequency usage and transmit power to protect local services mandatory for the Indian market. National Telecommunications Agency Anatel, an autonomous agency that oversees the largest market Brazil in South America. Innovation, Science and Economic Development I said. While often aligned with the FCC, it is the sovereign authority for Canada and requires its own distinct IC certification markings. Drop a comment letting me know how many of you are already aware of regulatory domains and how many have actually configured them on your router. Also share which regulatory domain you're using and why. In our next video, let's see Wi-Fi interference. Thank you for watching.